Hi, continuing from the other day on my latest video, I was explaining how it all came about to be that all this trouble um, came down into my life. Last time I was explaining about the time 2007 that I was ill, 2005, 6, 2006 especially. I was very, very ill. My body weight was about 30 kilogram. I couldn't eat, drink anything. I was just very, very weak. Everybody thought that I was not gonna make it. So from the Netherlands, I went in 2006 to Israel, where all my family is. In case I pass, then at least I will be between family, I thought. But then, miraculously, in 2006, when I came here, um, I got better. Within 2 months, I was feeling better. I was gaining weight, and I suppose all the love and care and the sun here was doing me good. So I started to feel better, and I went back in 2000, beginning of 2007, to the Netherlands again. That's where I start to research the health issues and the food and the medication, how it was hurting my body. But just a note, in 2006, when I tried to back immigrate to Israel, it was not made possible for me because I couldn't get any support, um, not with housing, not with finance, not with nothing, just nothing. Nobody would help me. All these institutes like the Office of Immigrations or the agency who cares about the Jewish people coming in and out, and all the inside and outside ministries. Nobody would help me. So I was like with a child. I had my child then, he was about 6 or 7 years old, and me ill, 30 kilo weighing, and nobody would help me. And I relate to that, to the situation in 86 and 87, where where nobody would help me with anything. As a child, I was put in all kinds of places, because there was no finances to care for my education, for my living, and for nothing. Everything seems to shut down, and that had a reason. Now, looking back, I comprehend. I can put one and two makes 11 or two. I can see what was happening, and at that time there were some type of people who wanted to use me, to to misuse me sexually, but I was just too little. I had no idea what it was, and I was not interested in that, and I was just also too small and too uneducated. Well, I'm just too little, too small. I had no idea what was going on. I had no protection. The man who said he's my biological father, who wrote himself as my biological father on the papers, He's the one who was getting all the finances concerning me, and he was the one also calling the shots. Now, looking back, I understand that's what was going on. But at that time, I had no idea. And by the way, this man is still on my paperwork, Israeli paperwork, or any paperwork. He's written as my biological father, and that is completely 100% fraud. Because he had the way or the connection to make this kind of adjustments when we came into Israel. After that, I couldn't change it, and nobody would change it. The Minister of Interior wouldn't change it. The immigration office wouldn't change it. Nobody would change it. So what they would tell me is you have to go to a court and prove that he's not your father and change it. And I tried to find lawyers to do so. No lawyer would touch this. Isn't that crazy? Don't you think that's really, really crazy? No lawyer will touch this. So he is still written as my biological father, while he's not. This is the extent of the corruption that this man had to do on my life to bring my life to where it is today. So going back to 2007, when I went back to the Netherlands, I started to research all this. What you eat is what your medicine should be, and how careful we have to be with sugar and with all kinds of stuff, and many things. I researched it. I found out what not to eat, what to eat, and then within a year, I came out all my ailment. I was stable. I was doing fine. I was doing so well that I wanted to start to live again, to go to work, to start something, and be in the in the community, and so. And so I was trying to get some job, and I was sending my resume to all kinds of places. And every time I find some people, I would ask them about possibility for working with them, because I speak about 5 languages, and I used to work as a kind of stewardess on Schiphol, security stewardess on Schiphol, and I have all kinds of possibilities. I could be working, and truly, when people first meet me and they talk with me, they see how I am, how friendly and how cordial and how knowledgeable about certain things I am. They immediately want me in their company, and they say, yeah, we want you, and then okay, send us for officiality, just send us the resume, and we will invite you for a talk, where to start and stuff. And I would be happy, and I would do all those things. And what would happen is, after they see my resume, they see my name and my numbers, and they just are like, whoa, took them back, like as if they see something in my paperwork, something was wrong. And I would ask them, what's up? But I thought you wanted me to do this and that, and I thought it was a mutual benefit to be working for you or whatever. And then they would say, we thought so it's too, but right now we are full. We will let you know when there is open space, and they will let me go. And that happened again and again and again and again and again and again until I start to see a pattern, and I didn't know what to do next. So that pattern was, at first people want to have me uh, work for them, work with them. Next, when they find out my my name and the social security number and all kinds of stuff, then they just cut me off completely. That's a pattern which came back again in the Netherlands throughout 2008, 2009, 10, 11. And in these times, I really had very difficult financial situation. I was um, uh, on a very low level of living, and I was sick and tired of it. So I start to talk with people about it. I start to talk with this one, with that one, and nobody would just get it. It seems like a problem that only I am experiencing. That was very weird to me because I'm very normal. I'm not a special type of person or whatever. I'm just a simple person. I just want to have a good life for myself and for my son and for my family, and that's all. But it seems like there is something behind all the things that are happening, which I could not put my finger on it, but it was happening to me. It was happening to me in a way. It's very quiet. It's under the surface, but nobody was willing to help me to 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 live my life in a proper manner, working, getting getting with the community, getting further like everybody does in life. I was not going anywhere. So all this pattern would in some way remind me all these patterns I had to endure between 85 and 88 in Israel when I was here, when I was unable to study, unable to live, unable to eat, unable to whatever. I was only some pedophiles were after me, trying to give me something if I would give them something, but I was never promiscuous, so I never went into that. Um, I I come from a really good home. Um, we, especially the women, are very protected. In my grandfather's house, my mother and her sisters, they all married in a proper manner, and there was absolutely no to be promiscuous and to go around and do all kinds of things what people do nowadays. So I grew up in a very protected environment concerning that, and now everybody's trying to get some of my body. It was very weird to me to be cognizant of that, and that pattern what I had here in the beginning in Israel it was emerging in the Netherlands, but then now I'm big, I'm a little bit mature. I could relate some things to some people, to some situation, to some certain things, and I would just blatantly, I would ask people, why is it so and so, and they would just be really sometimes mad at me, and then just say, no, I don't know, get out of here, and they just dismiss me and dismiss everything. So that pattern kept going, and what I did finally was, I think this pattern is coming from the source where my name was written for the first time in the system. So I've got to go there and correct it. So I decided in 2014 to go back to Israel, to immigrate back, also to be with my mother, with my family, and at the same time to live in this country in a proper manner, to appreciate it truly for what it is, and at the same time maybe correct this unwanted situation which is sticking on my name in some way. So I came here. As usual, when I came here, I also didn't get any help, not any financial help, not in housing. Well, there was this time, because I was really asking why. I was asking all kinds of people, and there was one time they supported me by paying for 1 year, supported me paying half of my rent, half the amount of my rent for 1 year. But usually people, when they come to Israel, they get for 5 years full living place free. They get X amount of money just to start up, to buy your stuff in the house and stuff. And you get free education, free entrance to this, free entrance to that, and that, and that. I did not get none of that. Only for 1 year, they have given me half of my rental. But I didn't care, because I really wanted to make my own money, to be able to work for it, enjoy it, and do it by myself. I didn't mind. But the thing is, that thing, which was going on in 85 to 88, and in the Netherlands, I found out this pattern start to emerge again. So I start to talk about it with this stepfather, the one who wrote his name as my biological father, why he did it. He was very, very, very angry. He became very aggressive when I asked him. And he told me I was ungrateful that I asked this, because he did it for me, and because he didn't want me to feel as if I am different. He saw me the same as his own children, the one who are 4 children after me, from my mother. He has these children. He saw me in the same eyes. That's why he wrote me as his biological daughter. And then I asked him, okay, so if that is so, you see me as your true daughter, your biological daughter, why is my life like this? Why is your children life look like that and mine look like this? I mean, with intelligence, we come from the same womb, and I think through all this troublesome life, I have acquired more knowledge than anyone else around, but uh, they are lawyers, they have all kinds of governmental jobs which pay very well, and they are really set for life, and I have nothing. Why is that? And then he would just get mad at me and very very aggressive, and he wouldn't give me a proper answer, but he would just get really aggressive. His face will just change, and he scary. Um, so when I saw that, I didn't want to make more more trouble. I think I didn't want it to be true anyways, that somebody would just do this behind my back and harm me in this way. So I left it. I left it to be. I say, okay, from now on, if I'm just gonna get stuck with something, I'm gonna dig deep until people will tell me what the reason is. And uh, I really prayed that this just would just leave me alone, and that I would live my life. That's what I thought. But that was uh, that was a mistake, because then uh, um, my mother got ill. I believe all this stress made her ill also. When she got ill, they were attacking me because I wanted for her alternative treatment instead of chemotherapy. And they were all for chemotherapy, and I felt like they were doing it on purpose. And it was a very, very, very difficult time. So 4.5 years ago, my mom passed away. That was a very, very sad thing that happened to me. Um, I just can't get over it yet. So, um, that's how a lie can destroy someone's life completely. It is. Uh, it's it's very sad, unlawful, and yeah, it has brought me to this point. I will have to talk about it on the internet to my friends about all this. All this, it shouldn't be happening. I should be doing different things, like teaching people how to eat healthy, or telling people how I healed myself, and telling people how I brought peace between people. All the good things I've been doing all my life. I should be talking about those things instead of this. But this has to be known, because no institute would help me. No lawyer would help me. Nobody would touch this thing that somebody had put their energy on me as being my biological father or my paperwork, while they are not. So this um, uh, trouble must end by me talking about it and letting know people how lies can destroy someone's life. They didn't destroy me. I'm still here. I'm still alive and kicking. And maybe thanks to all that, I have come to know the correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, because I was always looking for the truth, the correctness. what's correct and what's not. So when I heard first time David speaking about the quantum language, I immediately had connection with it. I just soaked it like a sponge. I could see exactly what he was telling me, what he was talking about, and um, thank God, because of him, I'm still alive and not rotting in prison. So, uh, going back to this situation, how I became to be in this place where all this trouble is happening with the law and stuff, has to do also with this thing which put itself as my biological father. I will explain how it worked. So, about 4.5 years ago, after my mom died, and I was sad, alone, and really very uh, undone. It's just I'm alone. My mom died, and I have nothing, and I'm in a country which is not supporting me in any way or in anything. So there was a weekend. I went to visit a friend to this place far away from the cities, kind of rural area, which is in Shomron. It's the West Bank. Actually, it used to be Jordan's, but now it's under the Israeli army control. So it's like you have Israeli cities and you have Arab cities next to each other. Uh, into the Israeli cities, nobody comes from the Arabs, and from the Arabs cities, no Israelis go. So it's a very divided situation because of the security issues that they have with each other. So I went to visit a weekend, and I loved the quietness and nature, and so when I got there, I really loved it. I needed it for my soul and to just calm me and cry on my own about my mom's passing. And so I went to live there. I asked if they could absorb me, and they gave me an interview, and they liked me, and they accepted me. So after, they told me also, you will live here half a year, and we will see how you are, and you will see how we are, and if we agree, if we are suitable to each other, you to us and us to you, then we will vote to let you stay in, or we will vote to let you go. If we vote to let you go, then you have to leave within 1 month. If we're voting to let you stay, then you will stay. Then after that half a year, you will get about 4 acre of land where you can build your house, where you can do your garden, whatever you like to do, just to be able to start living here. That was the promise and the contract I had with the locals where I live. So that half year passed by. In that half year, I worked with all kinds of people in their winery. I worked with people like taking care of their children, and later on, I was asked to work at the kindergarten of the settlement. I worked there about 3 years, and I didn't know I could work with children that well, but I did. I loved it. They loved me. The mothers loved me. The children loved me. Everybody knew within half a year who Nagesti was, because all the children, they would just go, I want Nagesti, I want Nagesti. Well, Nagesti is not no, my name is Nigestia, but then this kid so it would call me Nagasti. But it was really fun. I came to know very, very wonderful people over there, nice people. And as I was living like that, um, well, the first year because I knew this pattern I was talking to you about, I managed to not to be not to be upfront with it, so they didn't know that I have this thing walking around my name, like what I told you, like first they like me and then they get scared and they are retreating. So So, but slowly I start to see a kind of pattern emerging. Suddenly, there were a few prominent people, like they were very nice to me, cordial to me, and they were saying always, "Stay, how are you? You getting along? How is it going? Do you need anything? Can we help you with anything? If you need anything, come to us," and stuff. People who were saying like that, they start to show me a kind of distant mannerism, like whilst they used to greet me warmly, they would just say hi and they go. And after some time pass, I meet them again and I say, "Hi, how are you?" and being cordial. They would just turn around and go. And I was stunned. I was starting to feel something is cooking, and then slowly I start to see their children would. Uh, uh, Usually they will run to me and talk to me and stuff, and their children start to talk with each other softly and just being very distant. And slowly I see all kinds of people are being distant from me, but I don't know why.